What's up, you guys? Mr. Canary Island Quail here, back to bring you my Nintendo 64 store kiosk. I've had it for about a month now. I worked with a gentleman out in California to get it shipped out and freighted from California to Florida. It definitely wasn't easy. I've never been through that process before, but he was very patient and worked with me for about 2 months while I figured everything out, so definitely grateful that he was willing to do that for me. He said he picked it up from a friend that was moving and just didn't want it anymore, and he's not a collector himself, so when it popped up on eBay, I got in contact with him, and he was willing to work with me for 2 months while I figured everything out. So it's here, I finally have it, and it is definitely my favorite piece in my whole collection. It is about 98% complete. It is only missing the locking mechanism that holds down the underneath the dome there, and I'll show you that a bit later. Other than that, it has everything that it originally came with, it would have had in the stores. And yeah, so let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get it turned on. Alright, so as you can see, I've turned the kiosk on. There's actually a surge protector right there behind the Nintendo 64 logo. That's an internal. The top lights up here, top lights, 2 fluorescent bulbs, the TV, and the internal fluorescent light right there are all connected to the surge protector, as well as the Nintendo 64, which is just powered off right now. But starting at the top, we have the Nintendo 64 logo. As you can see, there's light back there that's illuminating. There's 2 fluorescent bulbs behind there. Moving down, we have a 22-inch Philips TV that has been rebranded Nintendo 64. Funny thing is, all of the buttons on the front of the TV are disabled. There's a child lock setting that's put on probably before it was shipped to the stores, so nobody messes with any of the buttons on the TV. Kind of bad for me. I wanted to change the port over to S-Video, but haven't been able to get in there. I've been able to use different controllers and such to get into the settings, but the only settings that are on there are caption and exit, and I haven't been able to get in and change the settings to S-Video. I'm trying to get a little bit better picture quality. I ran, when I originally got it and cleaned it out and everything, I ran the S-Video red and white internally inside the whole unit. It wasn't easy to do, but I was able to get it. But because I'm not able to change the settings, I can't really test that out. So I don't really want to keep screwing with it and potentially break something. So I think I'm done trying that. So continuing going down, we have the Nintendo 64 logo, and there is 4 speakers on this unit, plus the TV. As you can see from the top, left and right of the TV, there's speakers on the aluminum shafts going up to the top. We have 2 speakers on the left and right of the emblem. I placed Mario there. Hey, Mario. And then there's below, we have the subwoofer for the unit, which you can hear, playing Super Mario or whatever else you're playing. Going down from the emblem, we have the actual dome itself, plastic dome itself. You have the player 1 on the left, obviously, player 2 on the right. The arms, so the player 1 arm is original, came with the unit. Player 2 is original, the controller, but I had to swap the actual Nintendo 64 logo and the rubber shaft and everything that was there. The one that came with it was damaged and ripping, so I was able to win an eBay auction for a Pokemon Snap kiosk controller arm, which is the same form, fit, same bolt holes, and so anybody out there that's looking for a new controller arm for either kiosk, Pokemon Snap or this kiosk, they'll fit either or. So go ahead and try to purchase them. The only thing you'll need is a special tool from Home Depot or Lowe's to get behind the controller and open, be able to pop it all off. So I went and got that, swapped those out, and yeah, so now it's pretty complete. I'm only missing the locking mechanisms, like I mentioned before. Hey, thanks, Mario. Thanks for interrupting me. All right, so that was the Mario that turns on every 3 to 5 minutes. There's a setting where Mario turns on. Actually, funny, this unit actually is still working. Most units are burnt out where Mario doesn't talk anymore. So that's pretty much one of the things that makes it as expensive as these things get, is having that, you know, setting still on there where Mario still talks. Moving down before, you know, down from there, we have the footrest where, you know, Nintendo 64 logo. For those of you that are curious, potentially maybe going to buy one of these, the base is 3 feet by 2.5 feet, and the whole unit is about 7 feet 9 inches tall. So pretty big. Definitely something to consider when looking into freight companies and stuff, to make sure that they can handle that. The top of the truck and everything can handle that. You don't want them tipping this thing over or anything. I'd say as far as weight, I'd say it's anywhere from 200 to 250 pounds. I had a family member help me move it in here, and definitely dinged up some walls and furniture and stuff getting it in here. It is not light at all, so take that into account. Another thing I'd recommend for anybody looking to purchase one of these is getting a lift gate, you know, from wherever it's going to your house or wherever you are. You do not want to have to try to get 2 guys hulking this thing up on top of the truck. So definitely something to consider. Yeah, so let's go ahead and open the kiosk. Alright, so I've opened the dome. As you can see from the left over here, there's a little kickstand that can be pushed up between that little plastic piece that comes out from the top of the kiosk. You have the left controller arm, which is, you know, very nice, you know, nice and neat, you know, tucked in there. Goes down. I have the player 2 controller arm, same thing. As you can see this little placard right here. I have not, you know, during my searches of these kiosks, I have not seen many other kiosks that have this little, you know, paper pamphlet in here. I don't know if they just were thrown away or what. So I'm guessing it's one of the rarer items on this kiosk. Don't know how much it would go for, anything like that, but still pretty happy that this one has it. So as you can see, it has the metal grate down there. I took that all apart when I was cleaning it all out. The Nintendo 64 is bolted down to the unit, so I took that out, took the grate off. Underneath that, it has a circular fluorescent bulb, which is just illuminating this grate right here, giving it the pink and the blue colors. Underneath the fluorescent bulb, there's a fan you might be able to hear that runs continuously when the unit's powered on. You can see over here on the left and right, these bolt holes. I have 2 there, 2 over here. These are the locking mechanisms that I told you my kiosk was missing. All I'm missing is those 2 pieces. I have the parts up top here for the locking mechanism on the top of the dome. I'm just missing those 2 pieces. I have the springs, and I have the metal rope and everything that goes down below. And down here you can see the actual locking mechanism, the actual lock. I do not have a key, but I wouldn't expect it to be too hard to get a key. Maybe down the road if I'm able to work with a buyer or something that has those locking mechanisms and willing to sell them. So over here on the right you have the circuit board. The red and white that goes to the Nintendo 64. The yellow is just wrapped up in the internals and then goes up to the TV through a little hole on the top of the stand up here. The TV's just sitting on this rack. There's really nothing holding it down, but there's just a little hole underneath it, and that's where the red and that's where the yellow cable goes through. That's where I fed up the S-Video. And so yeah, it's just sitting there. Definitely take that TV off in the event that you're moving it. The guys that I had, they wrapped it in a blanket and just put it right next to the kiosk when they were shipping it. But on the left little knob there, that controls Mario talking. He'll probably interrupt me here in a minute, but every 3 to 5 minutes Mario pops on and talks. The right knob controls the volume. This thing does get very loud. Glad I live in a house. Might probably piss my neighbors off if I had it in an apartment. But yeah, very just having that circuit board exposed is generally scary, and I was taking the red and white off quite often trying to get the S-Video to work, and I just said screw it. I didn't want to keep messing with it anymore and take the risk of breaking it. So yeah, but this Nintendo 64 does have the expansion pack for games like Donkey Kong 64. But yeah, other than that, you've heard Mario. Maybe he'll interrupt me here in a minute, and let's go ahead and get it turned on. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn the Nintendo 64 on.
It's me, Mario.
So it's pretty cool. Me and my wife are actually playing through Super Mario 64 right now. I beat it a long time ago when I was a little kid, but we're playing through again. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool playing it on this, knowing that it was in stores and everybody else played it. You know, probably demoing this exact game. So it's pretty cool playing it on this. But it does get very loud. Go ahead and turn it up here. Another thing to look into, can't really tell by the phone, but you know, through the phone, but the color on the TV is definitely something to look into. You know, these probably were on for hours and hours and hours every day, 24/7. So the color on this TV is pretty good. That's definitely something to look at when you're purchasing one of these, is the color. So again, something to take in mind. Kind of can hear Mario. Yeah, so Mario turns on every 3 to 5 minutes, and he turns on when the kiosk is on, when it's off. Excuse me, he turns on when the Nintendo 64 is off, but the kiosk is powered on. He talks when the Nintendo 64 is powered on. So it's pretty cool hearing him pop on every now and then. But yeah, so making this video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know, definitely let me know if you guys have any questions as far as, you know, anything with freighting, you know, a kiosk or something this large. I'll definitely be able to answer it for you. There was a lot of questions and such that had to be answered before, you know, agreeing to let them go and pick it up. But if you have any questions about the kiosk itself, let me know, and I'll definitely be glad to answer them for you. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.